Welcome, my friends. This is Maniacal Incorporated, starting the second episode in a row following a crushing military defeat. Less than a year after the death of Amlib on the 31st of August, 1162. The kingdom is on the verge of bankruptcy and the army has been decimated. We are retreating out to sea and heading back to Dál Fiatach. Our allies from Tuscany and the continent are retreating northwards. Wales is falling back further into Wales, being followed by England and Sweden. We see Aquitaine, the Duchy of Aquitaine, after its involvement in two wars to defend Bohemia. It has showed up. France has lit up blue, so hopefully it will be coming in to support us at some stage. Yeah, basically we just need to kind of hold on until I would hope, the overwhelming numbers arrive from the continent. But this has been a disastrous first year to Crusader's rule. Now, the major problem for us at the moment is that we are bankrupt. We do have a prisoner who is worth 50 gold, and it's entirely possible that we're going to ransom him out. I'm just bringing the army across by land into the north of England. This is not exactly where we want to be, but we're going to basically wait to see if France will show up. And of course, we're losing war score rapidly. Oh, it's grand. Wales is coming with its army. We're saved. No, they're gone. But here, indeed, France arrives. 10,000 men. England has realised it's in a bit of trouble. I would say that what we need to do is head south as quickly as possible. Hit the body of the English army and try and bring this to an end. Now that we have those French forces, we will probably hold up until that disembark penalty is gone from the French. But yeah, sieging down random areas is going to be of no benefit to us. More forces are arriving from the continent. Some forces are even getting out to sea because the numbers that are coming in are so all over the place. Like I said, we still do have a couple of people with that disembark penalty, but we are rapidly losing war score. And the English forces can now put together 10,000 men. They are coming in some direction, and it looks like we're going to have to try and hit them. I hope that our allies will come together. They're actually going to hit one of the weaker armies, which is probably a good idea. But France is going to take them a while to get up. And another giant battle has started. We're getting our numbers in piecemeal again. And look at this for just the absolute devastation that the English forces are able to cause. It looks like the Duke of Aquitaine has been killed. Our father's brother-in-law. We're being heavily countered by the English forces. Here is our friend Thufla, which I believe is our sister. It is indeed. A rowdy night on the town after this short break. I felt more at ease. We lose some stress, and it's badly needed. The English are retreating. Doesn't do much for the war score. We are going to have to siege down Furlix. But these are indeed crazy numbers from the Swedish forces. And even just from the Swedish knights. We have 70 knights deployed in this battle. There is Quadruple B. I don't even know who half of these people are. Niels, who we hired, I think today is maybe his third or fourth day on the job. Niels was slain in battle. And we have a couple of wounded figures. But again, just look at this for a list of knights. Here is a Prince of France. There's more princes. That's not who I think it is. This was supposed to be our brother-in-law once upon a time. How things change, because if I remember correctly, it is now the House of Normandy that has returned to the French throne, so there's been massive changes out in that end of the world. Look at this for a list. It goes on and on and on. The major problem we have is just trying to find some place for everyone to stand. Look at the attrition penalties that they are suffering. I don't think we have any better siege commander. So we have quadruple B in there. We do indeed. If we can get this siege finished quickly and at least just kind of move out and be in a position, because if the English forces come back and hit, we'll say, that 4K French army, look how long it's going to take us to come in from Furlix. Speaking of England and speaking of Sweden. And again, we've some forces that are isolated there to the north. Our forces are threatening to move around in a circle. We have taken Furlix. We have reversed the penalties. And hopefully some sieges will be lifted. People will begin to move northwards and help us against England. Again, it's the same old, same old. Going to be wandering into this battle piecemeal. So we've lost about 3,500 troops, I think. Gullion has been wounded in the battle. There is nothing that can be done. Wrong one to click on. So yeah, he hasn't been with the court for very long. And I am thinking, now that we have... They still won't accept a white peace, the devils. Are we going to be in a position to bring in more troops? They're coming in slowly but surely. We are indeed getting those numerical advantages in, but look at the numbers of troops that we're losing. Well, Brassel Conon has been killed in battle. Well, Brassel Conon, slain in battle. What a way to go. What a way to go. There's about 20 or 30 different things to deal with. First of all, we can ask the new Pope, Sylvester IV, for money for the first time. We will absolutely do that because, as I've said in the past, we're basically bankrupt. We won't bother ransoming out that knight. Would you accept a white peace now, you devils? You would. Go away, you with your white peace. I can't even think who this is now. Our uncle's father-in-law, the Count of Cleve. His two sons were killed in that first major engagement. We married our father married his brother in a matrilineal marriage to keep House Gladbach going. So she has now become the Countess and has entered the war. We're moving on fairly quickly. 42 learning experience per month. I think part of that is also due to one of the two books that we have. We're going to go for open-minded. Not great at the moment. This one won't be much good to us either. But then we're on to learning on the job. 20% of councillors' primary skills added to your own. That's going to be fantastic. Sanctioned loopholes. Not much good. And then the scholar trait, which will give us some nice bonuses, I believe. +5 to learning. Hostile scheme success chance will go up. And dev growth will go up. And so Legend of the Kingdom dies. While Brassel Conon has been slain in battle, history will not record the name of the individual who killed him. He has been succeeded by his son, Robert Hook. We were afraid that he wouldn't survive childhood. And while this battle claimed one legend, if we scroll way down, I think it has produced another legend. We have a long way to scroll. So there is Herbert Turfritson. So this would be a son of Turfrith, who caused our father so much trouble. But if we go down even further, slain in battle by Duke Adric II. So that is his third kill in this war. So one legend has been killed, another has been created. Again, the numbers are absolutely cruel. 68 knights to their 13. If we look at, again, 4,500 losses to 2,000. We're seeing that predominantly it is their Huscarls and Varangian veterans. They can be countered by light footmen. Our armoured footmen are being absolutely decimated, as are the pikemen. I'm not too sure where these have come from all of a sudden, because we didn't have all that many / any in the first battle. Some light horsemen, which we don't tend to recruit a lot of in Ireland, but they're actually doing quite well on our side as well. So yeah, it's really these 2,000 armoured footmen and 2,000 pikemen, and they are being absolutely annihilated. The Pope has considered our plight, and what a plight it is. He has given us a big chunk of money, so that's gotten us out of debt. What we're pretty much doing is just staying where we are. We're being told that Gullion is wounded again, the poor man. Nothing that can be done. And like I was saying, what we're pretty much doing is just staying right where we are. We might even move northwards, so that as the English forces retreat back to their capital, it will take longer for them to catch up with us. I was shocked when I caught Sinead, our cousin. So we're raising her, but of course she is a child of Gillicullum and our stepmother, which would probably make her a child of our stepmother and our grandfather, or our step-grandfather. I don't know what way this family is going anymore. But she's been trying to steal from Duke Cruhur. I thought I was Duke Cruhur. Oh, there's Duke Cruhur from Leinster. And of course, if we are educating her, it means that we are educating her in the learning lifestyle, so we will keep her honest. It's a pious trait amongst Catholics. Our contract with one of the mercenary companies has run up. I think they had 117 men. They probably had more knights than actual men. They are more than glad enough to limp back home. Our forces start to spread out. We are told that there is a independence faction. We are down to just 1,000 men. That is our entire army decimated. I think we had about 5,000. Our father had 5,000. 7,000 is what we can put together. We're very close to being decimated. 7,000 is what we can put together, and we're now down to 1,000. So we will probably see some independence factions popping up. Who is it? It is Quadruple B and Roncu, so one of Orthacoin's sons, and they are demanding Lord Crown authority, and they can send an ultimatum in 8 months. Can we bring this battle to an end in 8 months? Are we going to continue to siege down places, or are we going to white peace? I think, considering how many thousands of troops have been wasted here, I think we want to take the region. What we're going to do is pull the forces back into Wales, and hopefully that will start to gain some troops for us, and we might actually even be in a position to... See, this is the problem. These guys just wandering around into the middle of nowhere. England is gonna start to come back in. You see, that's exactly... yeah. That's not great. So we're going to need to head back out in this direction. And now they're caught and they're retreating in an awkward direction. This is not great. We're going to spin around awkwardly in a circle. I was hoping... do you know what? Grant, that's fine. We'll stay where we are. Let the English come to us. I was hoping that the English were going to end up coming to us, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen now. Instead, they're going to just start taking the armies apart piecemeal. I was hoping that we could keep them in a forest or something along those lines. War scores ticking up on our behalf, so we're not too pushed. That independence faction has indeed fallen apart. And again, England is going north. I think it's just best at this stage if we hit them. Our Spymaster has increased. Our opinion with our Spymaster has increased, and it's going to be very important for us to keep them on side. I'm probably going to try and sway one of the people in that independence faction. We're finally getting an upper hand in these wars, but look at all the losses that we had to go through to get that. I would love to march on Kent, but it's a bit far away. It's a bit far away. I think we'll pull back to here, siege down this region. And after all that, bring this war to an end. We are seeing Sweden retreat northwards. So we could try to plant ourselves somewhere in the dead middle and wait for them to come back down. And bait the living daylights out of them. We are seeing the armies divided in 2 separate regions, which is fantastic. Where the hell are you going? And indeed, here they come. They're trying to meet up with England, and if somebody would go out and hit them, I think we'll hit one of the armies, which would be absolutely brilliant. They're actually divided in a number of different regions. So, one rapid victory. I actually have no idea what happened in the other one, and we could be looking at this war coming to an end shortly. We've caught the English army probably in a bad position, caught them early, but there's 2 battles going on simultaneously. Why am I getting so many sensual proposals? Again, we can see at the bottom of the screen, look how much of our side is lit up red. We can see that the High King is bisexual. That still doesn't explain why you started flirting with your father at one stage. We're also paranoid. So these options will give us stress. We could say never. We'll lose opinion with him. He won't attempt to seduce me again. We don't want to lose opinion with him because he is a very good knight who we would like to hire. There's only one problem. Hiring him will give us stress because we're paranoid. I tire of these games. Go away. Leave me alone. No one will attempt to seduce me for 10 years. Forever alone. It looks like we are going to simultaneously win both these battles and bring this confounded war to an end. If only there was a running tally of how many thousands have died. We've probably reshaped the face of Europe. This is a crisis vastly beyond anything that had been witnessed by Bar. And in times of desperation, in times of anarchy, in times of chaos, the one thing you can rely on is goddamn Iceland to show up. This war started 5 years ago. We gain a county and 20 fame. Enforce the demands. We can see at the top that hostile faction has returned. It's actually gaining in strength. It's gained a new member. The hilarious thing is that one of those involved, Quadruple B, is helping to increase control and restore numbers to our destroyed army. So that will hopefully get them back up to a stage where Quadruple B can't press his claims anymore. We had 3 rapid battles there to bring the entire conflict to an end. A count was killed by Ishgamur. A duke was killed by Rory, who our father deprived this entire region of. Duke Kane's son. And really it was that battle for Gwynedd and Dehybert. Well, I suppose the war for Gwynedd and the seizure of Dehybert, or Dehybert's independence war, that led to this massive war that we have just seen, hopefully. The last major war that we will engage in against England, I don't think we have the money or the numbers for another one. And then Mark Ward, who I think is a distant relative of ours, or married to a distant relative of ours. He got a kill. I don't think there was any major losses on our side. I do just see here at the bottom the Mayor Morgan, not the Mayor of Morgan. He's fine, heavily wounded, commanded the only victory that our father had against the English forces, the last major victory before he died. So he's in a bad way. He's come out of this whole thing in a fairly bad way, but indeed one of the heroes of this war. There's Fedrigo. And then we managed to hit the armies in a number of different places, or kind of split them up. There's Adric, causing trouble. Mark Ward now becoming one of the great knights of the kingdom, and Ishkamur. Now that effectively all of the great crusaders are dead, and again, look at all these fancy men with their fancy helmets and their bits of gold about their helmets. You're not even a prince and you have the nicest helmet. And what a glorious sight this is to see. 9,000 troops on the Irish side with a siege master in command, annihilating utterly the Swedish forces. One survivor, and he's in our prison. No knights on their side, so not many kills that anyone could get, but everyone had a good day to bring the entire conflict to an end. And if we check our prisons, we can see the commander of that last battle, a lowly mayor. I was going to say a lowly mayor, a grand mayor. And then we have a count who has been in our prison for a while, for 3 years. So what I was going to do is I was going to execute the mayor and release the count. However, if we ransom the mayor, he will give us 100. We will take that. And you divil, we only gain 7 dread and we spend some piety. But after that entire engagement, we will give Halstein a bit of a message. We will knock off the last couple of opinion that he has of us. A bit dangerous, but we did see in the last episode that Dovdeel, the long-serving witch doctor physician of the kingdom, passed away. Nobody is any good at the position of court physician. I mean, come on. He's a lunatic. What's the worst that could happen? During the last episode, I was talking a big talk. I was wondering if Crusader would try to conquer Wales and take the title for himself. I was thinking about expanding our holdings in Scotland. Where the hell are you going to get the money to wage those wars? Where are you going to get the prestige to call in your allies? Even though we're getting 10.8, that's not too bad. Where are you going to get the knights? Your paranoia won't allow us to recruit any. For as much as we complained about his rule, the amount of money and prestige that Amlib was able to generate, I don't think we'll ever see it again. And if you look at the amount of things he bought to try and put together, to try and tally the amount of money he spent on wars, for one thing, built a castle, the massive expansions that we've seen in Downpatrick, the entire courtroom is full of artifacts that he financed, bar maybe the Crown of Iceland, but it was also Amlib who actually turned that into a pedestal item. It's going to be very difficult to get anywhere near the materials, the raw resources for war that Amlib was able to put together. I think, with a chance maybe to make his own mark, because I don't know how many buildings that Crusader is going to be building. The one thing that Amlib, of course, failed to do was to make a nice suit for himself, to weave something, because it cost 128 gold, so we will accept this inspiration. There was one for a book, but that ran out, unfortunately, so we will sponsor that. And we will, now that peace reigns, Crusader will hold his first court. Oh dear God. He's been on the job for 2 days. He hasn't even been on the job for 2 days. I haven't even unpaused the game. And Mincone is digging up bodies. This, not putting it into this. Arrest him. Of all the people in the kingdom to come to us looking for support, Furlix. Some of the traders there, Conmac, Uí, they want to depose the mayoress. She is an interesting figure. Has the hail trait, has at least one son with the hail trait, and the wounded trait. But, yeah, considering all of the hassle that we have just gone through to get this region, absolutely, you guys want an election, fire away. Development goes up by 50, we get civic meddling. And she loses 40 opinion with us. Oh no. I'm kind of surprised at this one. Because we're paranoid and wrathful, we will gain stress if we ban weapons. I thought being paranoid he would want to ban weapons. We have Arthur and Roan Cú. So Arthur of Munster, who is serving, I believe, as our steward. And Roan Cú, who is serving as our steward. So what are you? Oh yes, oh this is a problem. You've just come out of prison. Welcome back, Arthur. So Roan Cú took over as steward. We might have to put you back on the council, I'm not too sure. We'll see in a second. That reminds me, we need to go and reorganize the council. So we can make him fight. Arthur will get wounded. So yeah, open carry. Everyone can have weapons. The more the merrier. The way to stop a bad guy with a sword is give swords to all the good guys. Not the most exciting of first days out for the new king, now that peace finally reigns in the kingdom after that absolute disaster of a war. It truly was, because the amount of resources that we had to dump into getting a county that we don't want, unless we conquer Wales. My business here is done. The issue that we have at the moment is that Roan Cú is part of the dangerous faction that wants to decrease crown authority. So if we were to remove him and replace him with the much better, not much better, but if we were to replace him with Arthur, it would make him like us more, but it would probably push him further into that conspiracy, so his opinion is increasing. I think we'll leave things stand as they are at the moment. I'm going to send my spymaster to Gwent to see if we can find out who killed where the hell is the title gone to? There's the Earldom of Gwent, there's the title history. Who killed Leon? And for the second time in a day, we hire a new physician. We'll just stick the Archbishop in there. And as for you, you fool, Here is an oversized axe. Go off and become the new executioner. It's a pity that we didn't have him in prison when we executed the other count. So there you go. From physician to executioner. In like 5 minutes. And already his appointment is causing hassle. You've gotten 2 jobs in one day. How are you causing this much chaos and anarchy in the court? Our spy master is angry that Mincon got the job. She lose 15 opinion. It's at 100. So look, stop it. I'm not making you the high alamoner. Just stop it. As always at this stage, our list of knights is in absolute chaos. I saw down at the bottom, this guy, I had no idea who it was. It's the handsome man that we married, that our father married off to Bridget. We're in a fairly bad state. So what we will do is we're going to hire, because I think he's the highest ranking one that we can hire. Are we going to hire him? 80 gold for 19. And we have own coup. 50 for 16. Let's see what the traits for Peter are again. He's not going to be great. Well, he is a blade master, an aspiring blade master. He's not going to be great, I don't think, for educating anyone. They're actually both of the same surname, Hectogern, but different coloured shields. Oh, this guy's just as bad. He's a novice hunter, though. Yeah, look, we'll hire Peter. It will give us 40 stress, because we are paranoid. Why do you want to work at the court? And while we're here, I will organise a marriage for him to somebody who is diligent. He's also diligent. She is a guest of a vassal in the Kingdom of Sweden. Let's see if she brings any interesting information with her. And here's somebody else who has ended up in the list of knights. Our artificer, who is making something for us, a suit. An exquisite pair of boxer shorts. I have no idea what he's making. But he wants to put the family motto on it. We can gain some family renown. We're well known. I bet we are. So we can gain 50 renown or 100 piety. We're generating a good chunk of piety. So I think we will go with the renown. Try and help the family out. And of course, here is the King of England back again, given out to us over that book. God damn him, he badly wants that book. A non-lethal single combat will commence immediately. The victor will gain or keep the artifact. The loser will lose the artifact. I don't think there's a chance that we can win this. Our prowess is 10. The King of England is 27. I don't think we have a personal champion. Just in case it does pay off, I've been very bold. I've shot in and appointed Mark Ward, who is ill, as our personal champion. Because he can take our place in some duels. I don't think this is one of them. There's not a hope in hell that we can win this. We have 10 prowess. The King of England, damn and blast him to hell, has 27. But we are wrathful. We could decline to spend 300 piety. I don't think we care about this book. I think it's the principle, and I think it's the fact that we are wrathful. Crahur foolishly will accept. Boys, oh boys, we both got hammers. There'll be some belting across those helmets. There'll be ears ringing in a couple of minutes. We stalk around each other, each weighing our hammers. He raises a fearsome hammer, while I grip my hammer. The deadly weapons feel cool and weighty in my grasp. It'll be only until first blood. So we're going to already, by waiting back, we're going to gain stress. High chance of success, high chance of injury. Low chance of success. Oh my god, there's percentages. I think, yeah, look. Hail Mary. Come on, we got a statue. Absolutely. Flailing my hammer wildly, I rush straight at Ethelweld. If I'm to die, I'll make it a hard fight, or if I'm first to taste blood and lose a book. And Ethelweld is driven back by my desperate enthusiasm. He counters with a fierce hail of rapid thumps, almost crushing me repeatedly. My form is good, with only small errors, and his stance is formidable. I have my opponent on the back foot, but still need to consolidate my victory. I do find these a bit strange. There seems to be a kind of a number that you need to get past, so high chance of success would have pushed that up for us, but also the high chance of injury. And if after a few rounds nobody has won, I think it's pretty much whoever's in the lead and isn't injured. So we've created a very high chance that we're going to get injured, basically. So he'll never see this coming. Strike, parry. I'm saying that in the English accent from the guy in Baldur's Gate 3. It's a high chance of success, medium increase to injury, and we lose some stress because we're wrathful. This will give us stress. However, because we are learned, it gives us an extra option. I think we're going back into the Táin Bó Cúailnge, remembering the stories of Cuchulainn. Just as he defended Ulster, so too will we defend a book that's written in a language that we can't read. I think it's also highly unlikely that we would come out of this battle without gaining some level of stress. So yeah, this is a great option. Low risk of injury and a high likelihood of success. Single combat. I do my best to recall the legends of Cuchulainn and try to raise my hammer in as the heroes of old. It's enough for a solid blow against my surprised foe. His hammer moves into a lazy defensive position and he begins shouting me down, his tone what one would use for a misbehaving serf, not a high king. My form is excellent with little chance for mistake, and his stance is passable. I cannot be more than one well-placed strike away from victory, so this is an important round. I think it goes to 5 rounds max. I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure what the rules of library combat are. You have at the just die. So it's only a medium chance of success, and of course, the more military skills you have, the better you are. You can tell I haven't done many of these fights because I'm so talking so much about it. But the better your military skill is, the more of these options that you have. But of course, we had our learning traits as well. Break your axe upon our valor, scum. I think that's the family motto. High chance of success, very high chance of injury, and we lose some stress. Let's see how you like a sculling. Oh, I think all of these are bad options, so it's a medium chance of success and a high chance of injury. He has delivered us a duel handicap rank 4 somehow, no increase to his likelihood of success, and a low chance of injury, so he is taking on a defensive stance. I think this is pretty much what he's gone for. No, it's not. Medium. What is... Okay. So this is medium and high. This is medium and high. This is an unsure attack. This is a headbutt. We won't... I think this means brain damage. Effectively. Because we're going to headbutt him and gain -4 prowess. So yeah, just die. Just die. Yes! He just died, and by died, what I mean is, we give him a bloody nose. My timid attacks ultimately prove unnecessary. From nowhere, Ethelweld flies forwards, aiming a vicious kick exactly at where my shin was a moment ago. Surprised by my unexpected shift, my foe sails past me, utterly off balance. Seeing a good spot to end the bout, I put the boot into the resulting heap, kicking furiously until I hear a strangulated yield. I am victorious. If only we could have done this instead of losing thousands of men. He has gained the truth wounded, or the trait wounded, or the truth waned. The durability of Welsh flexible mail has decreased by 3. All temporary combat character modifiers have been removed, but most importantly, we keep the book and all of this stuff that we got from the Welsh hammer, the chainmail. We wouldn't have built any of this stuff ourselves. Thank God we had the hammer instead of killing a sword. And presumably, as he goes limping away off with no book, he starts demanding money for my knights who he has in prison. 20 quid to get back a fairly high-ranking knight. That is not too shabby. His wife, or aunt, died under mysterious circumstances only a couple of months ago. But, yeah, absolutely, we'll accept that. Go buy a book for yourself. And we are told that we get to keep the Anglo-Saxon court politics, which increases prestige and monthly diplomacy. So if we were to switch to the diplomacy lifestyle tree, we'd get an extra 10%. I think since we've gotten this book, we haven't had anyone focusing on diplomacy, which is a bit of a pity. And now, Muraduk. Who the hell are you? Oh, it's my son. Then who the hell are you? So, Fintan, son of Brohan. So I'm not too sure when this happened, but Brohan died in a hunting accident in 1161. I did see this. So Brohan, who could have potentially been King of Ireland at one stage. There was intentions to marry him off to Cruhur's eldest sister before Cruhur was born. So he has died, his son is in power, and he is inviting our eldest son to Dundelgan. Of course he will be there. I really do need to go down through the list and check where everybody actually is. The King of Sweden, Helstein, is very kindly ransoming somebody to us for 20 quid instead of executing them. It's Killina. Killina House Tricks. I know, you heard about the great battle I had. Yeah, did I use your sword? No. I have actually just stopped the scheme to sway my Spymaster, and I am instead swaying Quadruple B. But our Spymaster has come to us to tell us that somebody is planning to kill our sister, Fiatach, the wife of Federigo, out in Tuscany. So we'll see what the chance of that is. It's not great at the moment, but we have seen opportunities like that go through. My beneficiary, he's taken off his helmet. That's a good thing, because of course William has returned and we hired a knight as well. He needs money to finish the suit. Yera, go on. We've just given the artificer 50 quid. And our friend, sister, and court musician, Tofla, has told him how to spend it. The artifact might be of a slightly lower quality. Thanks, Tofla. Now, another thing I just checked was I was getting a notification that my sister, Martha, were kind of unsure as to her parentage. Because, of course, Fiatach, our mother, was going off having good old happy times making swords with Killina. So we were getting a notification that we could marry her off to somebody. We could marry her as well, but that would be weird. That notification is gone because she has gone away off out to Croatia. Everyone's heading to Croatia. Lads, that kingdom's falling apart. But whatever. And just as we were looking at her there, here is our sister, Tuatha. We appointed her as court musician, or our father appointed her as court musician after the loss of Aquitaine, after her father-in-law was deposed. Here is her husband, our brother-in-law, who is somehow, after ending up with unpressed claims to the sheikdom and the kingdom of Leon, which doesn't really exist at the moment. I don't know, is there a bit of a war going on down here? There's a couple of wars. It's entirely possible, because we are going to try and get him to come back to our court. Brittany's involved somehow. It's entirely possible that we're going to get him to come back to our court, because, again, I did want to try and restore that dynasty to power in Aquitaine, because that was an important alliance. I actually have no idea what way things are sitting now that our... oh god, our stepmother's brother is gone. I don't think we actually have an ability to form an alliance down in this region anymore. No, we don't. So, yeah, actually restoring Tuatha's husband, if not her father or father-in-law, to power in Aquitaine, to try and restore some alliances. Because like I said, we are not getting the army back up on track very quickly. We're at 2,400 troops. Wales, bless them, is at just 700. Anybody could just steamroll in there. But we can put together 19,000 in alliances due to the alliances that we've established with France. That's pretty much the most important alliance that we have. There is, however, a lot of pikemen and a lot of armoured footmen in those alliances. So we might need to think about, if another war with Sweden breaks out, what type of troops will we need to put together to counter their OP Huscarls and Vigmen. We've gotten 2 pop-ups. We've been told that our wife, Emma, who we haven't really taken much of a look at yet, she is giving us an alliance into Orleans, which didn't actually... I don't think Orleans appeared at all in that last war. They were dealing with Brittany, which became a convoluted mess after our... was he our nephew? Yeah. Yes, Olaf's son. After he died, Brittany and Bohemia split up again, and there's still 2 wars going on for Bohemia. But yeah, thanks mother-in-law. Thanks. But our wife has a plan to divide and conquer. Quadruple B, who is supporting our brother Amlieb's Liberty faction in Kirken. So we could make sure that he leaves that Liberty faction. I don't think it has much support. He's helping us to restore control anyway, so what we're going to do is we're going to try and gain opinion with him, because that's exactly what we're doing at the moment. And we can bring this this plot to an end faster. And we're also told, I'm not too sure what's after going on up here, what war this is. There's an artifact claim. Stephen doesn't have all that many artifacts. And what's this other one? He's defending some allies, but yeah, he doesn't exactly have all that many artifacts. Will we have to go and check in his court to see what the hell is this? I have no idea how he got his hands on it, but it appears to be a famed trinket, a history of the Gautur family, claimed by the house of the King of Sweden, who's got a big heap of claims on it. So this is the person who started that war. I don't know. Stephen, you should have just fought them. You should have fought them in a one-on-one battle. That's the way to go. We are halfway through the year 1166, 100 years out from when Uladh expanded out beyond the borders of the county of Uladh In that length of time, we have conquered a lot of land, created a lot of artifacts, lost a lot of land, and lost and killed a lot of men, either intentionally or through military incompetence. We're going to see what a few more years of Cruhure's rule is like. I think it's going to be relatively peaceful. I don't know if he's going to be able to get the money or the resources together to wage any great campaigns, but he is going to try and seek to put his own mark on history and to step out from his father's shadow. For as disastrous as his rule was, it was also the greatest and most successful rule of any king of the Kingdom of Ireland so far, and it's going to be difficult, if not impossible, for Cruhure to equal it. Thank you for joining me on this episode, and I hope you'll join me on the next one, when we see what exactly it is that is being made for us. Is it a suit? Is it a cloak? Who knows?